Welcome to The Sideshow. All right, welcome to another episode of The Sideshow. For this episode, Mark is going to be taking the lead. So, Mark, why don't you let everyone know what we're going to be talking about today?
Hey, thanks, Mike. Today we are going to talk about Bad Company and their debut album, Bad Company, Side 1. It's kind of interesting. This is one of those albums, when you look at it, could have done either one of these sides, and it gives a great kind of window into a really great band when they were really in a great period of their music making. And potentially a future episode will hit side 2 of this album, but today I want to talk about side 1. And when I think of Bad Company, they don't get as much of a listen today, even though some of their songs are still played. They're not as well known among younger audiences. Even though when you take classic rock music and you start peeling back the onion and get to the very center, the very heart of it, you've got Bad Company. Their vocalist Paul Rodgers is like the just epitome of a great classic rock vocal voice. He's got a low but smooth voice that can belt out with just rock and roll pipes, when needed. Yet he's got a way that he can smooth things out when the mood of the song is right. And they've just got a heart of just basic, unvarnished, bare knuckles, just rock and roll. Simple, not sophisticated, not trying to be overly educated or progressive. It's just they're in there playing rock and roll. Many of their songs are verse, chorus, break, chorus, out, right? Simple, straightforward, and nothing too inspirational, nothing too, over the top. It's good rock and roll music. Great music to see live, great music to have on at the, in the, the back of a party. Just good music. And, some people say, well, if you really want to go back, well, just go to the blues, right? But it's like, nah, rock and roll was an evolution from the blues. It's a different type of music. I'm saying that, Bad Company gets to just the basics of classic rock music. And there's so much that then came out of that. There's more complexity. There's more instrumentation. But you get a couple guys together, a guitar, bass, vocals, and drums, and Bad Company is what you get. And I think they did a really good job with it. So I'm really excited to kind of talk about this album today.
Well, the music that we talk about primarily is classic rock. Yeah. And we've talked about the fact that, classic rock goes from like the mid 60s through the mid 80s. That's the classic rock era. Well, what is the meat of that time period? The 70s.
Yes. Yep.
And what, and I'll say it. I mean, I think that the 70s is where the heart of the classic rock era really beat.
Oh, absolutely.
Is in the 1970s. And a lot of the bands that we talked about that were successful, like in the early 70s, started in the 60s. Whether you're talking about Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, Deep Purple, Jethro Tull, etc.
Yeah.
Whereas the Bad Company, they're a 70s band.
Yes.
And they played radio friendly hard rock of the 70s type.
Yeah. Yeah.
And kind of were able to and they came out with a bunch of over the course of their career. And I kind of stopped listening to new Bad Company material after like Desolation Angels.
Yeah.
And that might have been 1979,
Yeah.
or a 19 might have
Yes,
been
our high
1980.
school
But,
years. Our high school. That's
but when we
that
were in
came
high
out, yeah.
school, and so they are. I don't want to. I mean, I don't know if I want to say the quintessential, but it could be that they are the quintessential '70s hard rock band.
Yeah.
And an interesting. I mean, they really were a super group because the
absolutely.
members of Bad Company all came from bands that had previously had success.
Yeah. Well, Paul Rogers, their vocalist, and Simon Kirke came from the band Free, and they had. I mean, they were, and Free isn't heard about a lot these days. But I mean, they had a hit, All Right Now, that was a huge hit. It was a number one hit in 20 countries. It was a number one hit. I mean, that says something.
You still hear that on the radio?
Absolutely.
I mean, you still hear that on the radio.
And a lot of people think that All Right Now is by Bad Company because of the vocals. Again, the very distinct vocals of Paul Rogers. But an interesting point, in 1970, Free was tied for their money making with Led Zeppelin, right? This hit was a huge hit. I mean, they didn't have a whole lot aside from this, but for a portion of 1970, they were at the top of the money making, charts, along with Led Zeppelin. And this is not like before Led Zeppelin became big. 1970 is like Led Zeppelin 3, getting ready for Led Zeppelin 4. I mean, they were already top, and Free was making as much money as they were. So we're talking about a big band. They're not so much, they didn't necessarily last as this huge band, although, to your point, All Right Now is still just a very well-liked song. So two of the members came from there. Mick Ralphs, the guitar player, came from Mott the Hoople. In fact, a couple of the songs on this album were actually recorded by Mott the Hoople, and he brought as the songwriter the songs with him. And then Boz Burrell was the bass player, and he played in King Crimson in their early days. So you're absolutely right. This was a true supergroup where all the members had achieved success in their previous roles, and then came together to create the sound that again really kind of laid right in the exact center of what people think today is classic rock.
And Mott the Hoople, while not as commercially successful as you just described, was a very well-regarded band. I mean, Ian Hunter, who was sort of like the lead singer of Mott the Hoople, went on to be a recording artist. I mean, they had a big hit with a cover of David Bowie's All the Young Dudes.
Yep.
Mott the Hoople did the song All the Way from Memphis, which was the opening song in the movie Alice Doesn't Live Anymore by Martin Scorsese directed.
Yeah.
And they were a very critically well-regarded band. Boz Burrell, I mean, he played in probably the least interesting incarnation of King Crimson. He was
as a King Crimson fan, Mike.
He was much more at home playing music like Bad Company played than he was playing some of the Robert Fripp inspired stuff that King Crimson did. But he certainly found his home with these guys. Boz Burrell did, and having had to deal with the idiosyncrasies of Robert Fripp while recording with and touring with King Crimson, I'm sure that that was an experience that provided him all he needed to step into just a more user-friendly environment for musicians who just wanted to play together and just play just good, straightforward rock music.
Yeah, exactly. And as we've seen, one of the things that supergroups bring with them is not only talent and experience from what they've done. It brings connections in the in the music industry, and their manager was Peter Grant, who also happened to be the manager of Led Zeppelin. And I guess it's a polite way to say Peter Grant was an amazing advocate for his bands. Another way to say it was he was the biggest asshole in the entire music industry. Music venues hated him. The labels hated him because he fought for his bands, and he achieved for his bands. And so you've got that type of management. They signed with Swan Song Records, which was Led Zeppelin's label. They were actually the first band to sign with Swan Song Records. So right out of the gate, they had a lot of the mechanisms of the industry that were working with them. So plenty of people out there that are making amazing music that nobody's ever heard of, unfortunately. But with this type of connection and management, they recorded this album at Headley Grange, which was where Led Zeppelin and bands like Genesis also recorded there, and whatever did a lot of amazing work at. So they had good facilities, they had good management, and they had experience coming into this particular album. So they kind of had everything going for them, and then all they needed to do was deliver. And so that was their task.
The the Led Zeppelin connection there. I mean, you're right that did them no harm, mm-hmm. And Peter Grant, in addition to being a good advocate, he was also very, very protective of his charges in terms of them getting paid, mm-hmm. and whatnot, yeah. And the at Headley Grange, and this is not a particularly important distinction, but Headley Grange was sort of like a rural English manor, not necessarily unlike a smaller version of Downton Abbey.
Yeah.
And I believe that there was I believe it was a vehicle, a truck, Ronnie Lane's mobile recording, or the Rolling Stones mobile. There was a truck that went up
Ronnie
there.
Lane's mobile unit. Yeah.
Unit that kind of parked outside, and they used the building itself, and the recording equipment was sort of transported up there in this vehicle. And based on some of the material that Led Zeppelin produced out in that location, I mean, it's got to be an inspirational place, or there's got something about that place that's conducive to good recording.
Yeah. And they were able to take advantage of that. And again, the facilities, the management, the support, and that type of thing becomes critical. Plus, it wasn't their first rodeo when it comes to coming into the studio. So they really had a lot of stuff lined up for them to be able to be successful. And what they ended up, delivering was their first album, Bad Company. Okay, this was released in 1974. Very simple, straightforward cover, and just some information on the tracks and a little bit about the players of the band, and some other credits on the back. Pretty simple and straightforward. The album debuted at number 1 on the Billboard record charts, was successful in a number of different regions, UK, US, Canada, these types of things. Ended up going 5 times platinum. So it appears that they delivered on the opportunity that they had, and their this ability to work together with the resources and marketing and everything like that they had, and they came out with a great album. As I said, I could have flipped a coin and taken either side of this. But today we're going to spend a little bit of time talking about side 1.
It's a good one. It's a good one. I would have picked side 1. myself.
And like I ended up falling on that one as well. But both sides, 4 songs, pretty straightforward with what they're going to do. So let's dig right in. Side 1, Bad Company's first album. We start off with a song called "Can't Get Enough," and let's. Straightforward rock and roll. Before we start talking about it, we're just going to listen from the start of the song, start of the album, and we'll talk about it on the other side. Okay, so this was their debut single, right off the album. The single itself hit the top 10 in the U.S. The flip side of it was the song "Bad Company," which is from side 2 of this album. And if you want to know what Bad Company was going for when they named themselves Bad Company, you can listen to that song. I mean, it really is, when you talk about, oh, they're Bad Company, or you don't want to associate with Bad Company, they were Bad Company, right? They weren't necessarily the nicest, the neatest, or whatever, but that is how they rolled as Bad Company. But that was the flip side of the single. "Can't Get Enough" is when you start to talk about basic rock and roll, one of the topics is not being able to get enough of some loving. And this is what they were focusing on this particular tune.
Well, and, in my opinion, and I mean, I don't agree. I don't disagree with you at all that lyrically, there's not a lot of nuance or complexity to this song.
Yeah.
And not necessarily to any of the songs on this side, really. But be that as it may, in my opinion, I mean, this is one of the great classic rock songs.
Yeah.
I mean, its simplicity being key.
Yeah.
To that. I mean, when you think of songs, like whether it's, like Bachman Turner Overdrive's "Taking Care of Business," the Stones' "Brown Sugar," "Sweet Home Alabama," whatever. I mean, let's identify the top 10 classic rock songs.
Yeah.
This, maybe it wouldn't make that list, but it kind of belongs on that kind of list because it's just, look, there's no artsy fartsy shit. Let's rock and roll, man. And that's what it does. That kind of, it's got that sort of cock rock guitar.
Yep.
And and we've used this standard sometimes when we're talking about the music that we talk about. When you're at a party, you're at a beer party. You put on this side and that opening riff with the drums, people are like, "All right, yeah, fucking A," It's that kind of song.
Yes,
that kind of song.
It's one where whether you're really paying attention to it or not, you find your foot tapping, and it's got these lyrics that we'll come back to a lot. The power of the vocals, which drives the song forward. But the just very straightforward driving drums with these guitars, this classic rock straightforward riff guitars that keeps driving and moving the song forward, and keeps your toe tapping, keeps your head bouncing, and just plays very well with this thing. And it's just, hey, look, I I can't get enough sex with you, right? Is let's do this. Now, the song does start off with, kind of this, this guy who's, look, I take whatever I want, and baby, I want you, right? Okay, right? Well, so let's just chuck that off to self-confidence, right? That he's going to have. But the bottom line is this guy has a girl, and he enjoys getting down with her, and and he wants to get more of it so much that it'll break him in two, right? Is what he's looking for. So we've got no doubt what they're looking for tonight, and they just do it in a way, regardless of what he's singing about, the rhythm, the beat, the guitar, really hits home with this particular song. Very powerful start to this side.
And the fact that the some of the lyrics of this song might not jive with the Me Too movement or whatnot. Not to poo-poo that, but
yeah.
But this is music from a different era, and when you think back to whether it's at the beer party in high school or the beer party in college, you wanted to meet girls, and you wanted them to like you. If you liked them, you wanted them to like you back.
Mm-hmm.
You give me something I need. Now tell me I got something for you.
Yeah.
It's like, hey,
and
baby, let's play house. Come on.
And I mean, I think something else that, that teenage boy also wanted was the self-confidence to do something about it, right? Lot of girls that you liked, a lot of girls that you wanted to talk to, a lot of girls that you wanted to ask out. So there was certainly a lot of stuff that you wanted there, but you also wanted the self-confidence to be able to go and ask and make it happen. And so, that's part of the appeal as well. And sometimes that goes a little over the top, as any performance does. But I think that was the appeal, is like, hey, not only, yes, I've got things that I want, but I'd also like the self-confidence to do it. And the singer of this had some self-confidence in what they were looking for and what they were asking for. And we're not going to hear long, extended guitar solos or anything like that in any of these songs. Fairly straightforward structures. You do hear guitar, right, in the songs, and you do hear some, pretty driving guitar that goes along. But it all part of a fairly formulaic structure of pop rock and roll, which we're going to be hearing from start to finish on this album.
Yeah, the sound of Paul Rodgers' voice is an important aspect of this, because it has that self-confidence that you talk about, but it also it's also got a quality where you don't, when he says, I take whatever I want, and baby, I want you, you don't get the sense that it's, that he's actually going to force himself. I mean, there's a I don't know the word I'm looking for, but there's something about his vocals that combine confidence with something that isn't threatening.
Yeah,
it's assertive. It's assertive, but it's not threatening.
Yeah, and that is, you're right. I mean, that's what you hear in the lyrics. The lyrics themselves aren't aggressive, and certainly you brought up the lyrics just a minute ago. Right after that, baby, I want you. It's, he's asking, or he's hoping that there's something that she will see in him. that that comes along with that. So I'd agree. Just as you heard in the lyrics, I mean, these are the lyrics themselves aren't aggressive. They're strong and they're driving, but you're not hearing anger or anything like that. You're hearing someone who is out with someone, and they're hoping that they're going to be successful, right? In this, because can't get enough of your love, and that certainly is what's happening here. Just huge hit for the band, and a very strong start to this particular side.
One of those songs like when you're driving in the car, listen to a classic rock station, it comes on, you maybe turn it up a little and are tapping your finger on the wheel, maybe driving a little faster than you were.
That's right. Maybe the foot just hits the gas a little more. Absolutely. And which sticks through us, that whole philosophy. This is great music. This is great driving music. This is great road music to listen to. And that continues on in the second song, in a way very similar to Can't Get Enough. It's the tone is a little bit different. It's called Rock Steady is the second song, but it starts out with a guitar riff that we're going to hear, and it's going to stay with us through the song. And again, it's a person who is emanating confidence. Again, that voice of Paul Rodgers just does that. And let's listen to the beginning of this, and then we'll talk a little more about the song after we've heard a little piece of it. Okay, so again, straightforward rock and roll, right? Coming at us. You hear in the the chorus, turn on your light and stay with me a while and ease your worried mind. Turn on your light now, baby, and stay with me a while and rock steady. Yeah. So when I first, listened to this song, the notion of rock steady, I was listening to a lot of Bad Company when I was in the service. And, in the service, rock steady means, you keep moving forward. Rock steady actually comes from the notion of marching in the military. You need to keep moving forward. You need to be moving quickly, but they're expecting everybody to be straight up and down and in line, both behind the person in front of you and to the left and the right. They don't want your head bouncing around while you're walking in the military. So the expectation was that you're going to keep moving forward, but you're going to rock steady. And this was a very common phrase in the military. Rock steady, keep moving forward. Do what you're going to do, but do it professionally. Look good while you're doing it. Look sharp. Do it the way you're supposed to do it. Rock steady, right? And someone that was able to rock steady, again, that displayed confidence, that displayed expertise, that displayed, skill and strength, right? Being able to rock steady. So when I see a song called Rock Steady and I hear that, that someone right from the beginning of the song, they want to rock steady, that's what I think about. I think if you look at the actual lyrics, rock steady might refer to, again, a little
else.
the old in and out. Might be what he's actually referring to, but that's never what I've heard in this song because of what I was so focused on when I was in the military.
Well, I mean, I think that what it rock steady means, let's do this right.
Yeah.
And whether that means let's love each other right, let's make love to each other right. Mm-hmm. Let's do this right. And this song is not quite as straightforward as the first track, Can't Get Enough. It's got a little not funky, but it's a slower kind of a different sort of riff to that minor chord at the beginning. And so it has a different feel to it. The rhythm isn't as straightforward as that, but otherwise it is the same kind of straightforward guitar rock.
Yeah.
I think that let's do this right is the sentiment that rock steady be rock, because rock and roll, I mean that's what rock and roll originally meant, was rolling around and rocking and rolling, and doing it steady. So I mean there's certainly a sexual connotation to that, but the lyrics, I mean, and one could argue that all of the lyrics of the 4 songs on this side are directed towards more, better love as in conjugal love.
Yes.
For lack of a better way of putting it.
And in a later album, Bad Company had a song called "Feel Like Making Love." So it's just like it's easier just to get it out there, right?
Yeah. Why quit fucking around? This is where we're coming from, and and hey, that's like I say, that's what rock and roll originally meant. Yeah. And the times when you hear this sort of classic rock, and you're most tuned into it, is back in the days when you were drinking beer, looking to strike something up with meeting a girl at the bar or at the beer party or whatever it was, and so there's nothing wrong with that. I mean that's I mean that's what it was. Kind of everything from going all the way back to the original rock and roll songs. Up in the morning and off to school. Why? So you can wait until 3:00 so you can go to the juke joint, get the jukebox going and dance with a girl.
Yep.
Et cetera. And that's what it's about. And so, no, this is another good example of how this is just kind of textbook 70s rock. Yeah. It's not as hard as Black Sabbath or some Led Zeppelin or Deep Purple or whatnot. But not as pop oriented as bands from later in the 70s, like say Journey. This was
Styx.
Exactly. I mean, this is music that kind of bridged that gap, and so this is just right smack dab in the middle of just good old 70s rock that had an edge and a bottom end to it, but was also radio friendly, and. So I mean, a good second chapter in terms of this album. I mean, just a good second outing.
It kind of takes us into the third song, which switches up a little bit. This slows down a bit. It's called "Ready for Love." Also, what became a pretty big hit for Bad Company. This was again written by Mick Ralphs. And the song was originally, he wrote it when he was with Mott the Hoople, and Mott the Hoople recorded this song. And it was on their album, All the Young Dudes. So, the song was, I guess you could say it was a cover, but it was Mick's song. So it was still his song. Yeah. It's kind of hard to cover your own song when you're doing it. So came in, now this song, I really like this song. This is probably my favorite Bad Company song. It's not the most rockin' song, but I like it. And because this music to me is all about emotion and, and kind of taking yourself back to different times. And if you have ever, we've talked about going out to the bar and finding that girl that'll dance with you and that type of thing. And who knows where the night can go from there. We've all had nights where we've gone out and not a single person, not a single girl has said yes. And we have tried. It's not that we didn't ask anybody, right? You have struck out. And maybe you're in that kind of period. Maybe not everybody's had. I know I have, where that seems to be the norm now. Every single time you go out. And so here it is, closing time. It's kind of a dark, maybe a rainy night. You're walking home, and the way that this song unfolds, you can just picture that, right? This person who has been, shackled by bad luck for too long. And they're walking home and they're thinking about it, right? Let's listen to how this song starts out. And I want you to picture this guy, right? Kind of a foggy, rainy night. They have now struck out, and that has been their thing all summer. This has been what going out is like, and they are walking home and they are thinking about it, and they are thinking about it hard, right? So let's listen to this, and then we'll see how well that fits when we come out on the other side.
All right.
Walking down this rocky road, wondering where my life is leading, rolling on to the bitter end, finding out along the way what it takes to keep love living. You should know how it feels, my friend.
Okay, well, the actual words start out walking down this rocky road, right? And so you can picture somebody walking and thinking, and I just think they do a beautiful job of setting the mood with the rhythm and the music for the song, and the vocals of Paul Rodgers just lays right on top of that with a sad feel to the song. And that emotion kind of explodes in the chorus when they, I want you to stay, and I'm ready for love. And this is not so much of in the other songs where, he's sitting there saying, hey, I'm ready to fuck, right? That's not the feel that you get with this. It's kind of like through the verse, again, walking down this kind of rainy, foggy night and stopping under a street light and just looking into the sky. It's like, I am ready for love. I want to find somebody, right, that can be a part of my life. And I swear, you let me have that, I'll be a good person, right? Look, we've all had these conversations, right? We've thought these kind of thoughts at different points in our life when we're on a particular dry spell in this particular area. So that's kind of a humorous way of looking at it. But when you're right in the middle of it, it's a very kind of sad way of feeling about yourself and how things are going. And I just think that this song captured that very, very well.
This song is is different in feel than the first two songs. Certainly the Can't Get Enough. It's very different, and this starts on a minor chord again, and the chorus in this has always reminded me of the Led Zeppelin song "No Quarter," and
I can see it.
That's a much more atmospheric, recording and song than this one is, but just that sort of brooding feeling is similar, and in terms of the Ready for Love, where it's not any port in a storm.
Yeah,
that's not the feel that you get for the song. In music lyrics, love. I'm ready for love. I can't get enough of your love. Sex is what's being being alluded to. But I agree with you. Here it's almost more like I'm ready to not be alone.
Yeah.
Is almost more how the song feels than because it's not you don't get a feeling sorry for yourself type. I don't. Although it is. In a lot of these songs, the singer is asking the woman to do. I can't get enough means you need to give me more.
Yes.
And
I greatly appreciate it if you gave me more.
Yeah, and rock steady. Okay. Yeah. You need to rock steady, and here it's like I'm ready for love. So someone out there, one of you girls out there's gotta kind of get with the program here.
Yeah.
My program.
Yeah.
And not that again, I don't. It's not a feel sorry for himself sort of vibe, but it's definitely a more melancholy isn't the right word. But someone who's
it's a somber,
growing weary, of the way things have been, and doesn't want to wake up in the morning alone. And that's and it's I don't know if lyrically this stands up, but it's almost more of a song. I'm more interested in waking up with someone than going to bed with someone. Is and again, I don't know if that's really lyrically supported, but
I think I believe that it is. Now we're after the clip that we listened to. The second verse, although again the tone remains the same, it does turn a little bit more optimistic, right? The singer says, "Now I'm on my feet again. Better things are bound to happen. All my dues surely must be paid." Right? So this is not just like I'm waiting for my time, but I think this is my time. And one of the reasons that this song has this different tone, as opposed to some of the confidence that we heard in the previous song, is the underlying piano that is a big part musically of this song. And what I want to play for you now is, again, it's a fairly straightforward verse, chorus, then an instrumental, which is really just playing what was already being played underneath the verses, except there's no lyrics being sung over it. So let's listen to that, and then we'll finish talking about the song on the other side. Okay, so that piano, it's got kind of a haunting almost kind of feel to it. It kind of drips. It's one of the reasons why I always somehow picture rain, right? Or fog or whatever when I'm hearing this song. It's that kind of the way the piano just kind of dances over the kind of the rhythm of the song. You just hear it more because there aren't vocals over it. But that's really what was happening throughout the entire song so far. And of course, it comes back in with the chorus with Paul Rodgers singing it again. Very straightforward, traditional kind of, you could call it a cookie cutter song format, but just well done, right? With the way this flows song. We've been kind of rocking for the first two songs, very toe tapping, and this one is just a little more, you've got some energy in the choruses. But I love the verses in this particular song and the way that they play out, and they stir some emotion, certainly for me, about how, look, when you're ready for something more, and whether that is a love or whether that is in your job or in where you're living or where you're trying to go, that idea that, look, I'm ready for something to happen here. And I could use a little help from you all in making that happen. But just I really enjoy this song.
Well, the song is more atmospheric than the other two songs. I mean, or the first two songs. The first two songs, when you hear just the music, you picture, you're in the club and the band is on stage. When you hear that music, that's the first thing you think of. Or I think of. Whereas with this song, as you said, it's now I've stepped outside, and maybe it's a little foggy, maybe it's a little rainy. I've stepped away from the as you say, the confident rocker on stage, and I'm now kind of out here by myself, pondering the situation, but I know as long as we're together, we can make it through the night. We can make it. But I need your love. That's a different sort of appeal.
Yeah.
Than some of the first two songs to a certain extent. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a song that, I can remember having heard this song on the radio going way back to before we started buying albums. Even. It was something that it stuck in your mind. I'm ready for love. I can remember, because I was familiar with this song long before either of us ever bought a Bad Company album. And if I'd had to mention a song, this is probably the earliest memory that I have of hearing Bad Company on the radio.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. So another song that was, very popular for the band. And again, just a great example of how a side will switch gears, to kind of slow things down, a little bit. And it just, and not just like, okay, we got to have a ballad in here, I think in just a really good way. And we finish up with the final track on the side, a song, Don't Let Me Down. We do not return to the, heavy foot stomping type tune that we heard at the beginning of the song, but it's got a little bit more oomph behind it than Ready for Love, but at the same time, the song Don't Let Me Down is kind of, I think, a little bit off the track of what we were certainly hearing in the first two sound, very kind of sex, give me some of your love type orientation to kind of, I really do need more of you, the person, as opposed to, more sex or more loving or whatever we want to, however we want to state it. So let's listen to the beginning of this song, and then we'll wrap up the side on the other side.
If I had a love that was so true, and I wouldn't have to make do with the half of love that I have found, that is tearing me down to the ground. Don't let me down. Don't let me down. Don't let me down. Yeah. Love can be found. If I had a love that was so weak.
Okay, so little bit again, kind of we stepped up a tad from Ready for Love, but we're still kind of in a slower, little bit more deliberate type song. And I think what I mean, this is a very strong vocal performance for Paul Rodgers. It's one of those songs you can't really picturing someone without a powerful voice singing this song. To me, it would be kind of just a drudging along in the song. But Paul Rodgers has got a way of bringing the power and just the tone that kind of helps bring us across the finish line here in this particular song. Not an overly long or complex song, but just, hey, look, I need more from you, please. Don't let me down. This person has clearly been let down in the past. They talked about how, I've been having to do with half of a love from you, kind of like I don't have everything from you that I need, and what I need is all of you, and please don't let me down. Almost begging, the woman to give him what he needs for a full love. And, just kind of hear that in the song. He's not demanding that you don't let me down. He's asking, that, and you can just hear that in the way that the performance is. And again, just kind of a well done, way to kind of end the song on an even keel without jumping up and down, or screaming along to the song. Just kind of an even way to ride us towards the end of the album.
I think this song is definitely more about true love than sexual desire or conquest or whatnot. And on the one hand, we've been talking about the lyrics to these songs as it's, and kind of one way of looking at it is that it's the singer is always saying, here, you've got to do something. The solution to this situation is you doing something. I can't get enough. You need to give me more love. You need to, rock steady. You need to keep your ducks in a row and ready for love. I'm ready for you. I'm ready for someone out there to come in and do this. And we're here. Don't let me down. Don't you let me down. But with that said, on the other side of the coin, can't get enough. I can't get enough.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't have to be, you're not giving me enough. I just can't get enough. In other words, that it's so good that I could do this all the time. And in terms of rock, the rock steady, it's just like, hey, let's get in the same rhythm. Let's you and I be on the same page.
And he says he needs to rock steady too. I mean, in there's you're right. There's kind of two sides to this, to this coin, depending on how you're looking. He's asking a lot, but he's there's a lot of stuff
he's
that,
willing,
that he's to put forward as well.
He's willing to give, and I think that it's, I mean, and these, let's face it, I mean, these aren't the most, these songs we've been talking about, these aren't the most profound lyrics we've ever talked about on this podcast.
Yes.
But I think it's fair to say that it's reasonable to say No, this isn't just some male who's asking the female to, lay down and be submissive and be the one that does all this, that is the only one who sacrifices, or who whatever, or just it's her job just to satisfy him and that's it. I think if you look at all four of these songs, and including this last one, it's more of a look. I mean, here's what I'm willing to do, and as you phrased it, I need more of you, more from you. It's I mean, and the Don't Let Me Down, the fourth song, it's almost like, look, yeah, the sex is great, but I need a little more.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I don't think that's an unfair characterization of the type of situation that might underlie this sort of appeal to from the singer to another to a woman.
Yeah, and I think it you hit the nail on the head. There's a certain kind of excitement or in the journey of trying to figure out what musicians are talking about, right? You can pull out some Neil Peart lyrics when you're listening to some Rush. It's like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? You can discuss it, you can debate it, and you can go back and forth, and how does that fit with this and that, or when the times we've sat and studied Pink Floyd lyrics and whatever. That is not why you listen to Bad Company. Right, that's not what you're going to get. Environments where people aren't listening to the lyrics at all; they just want the music. That's what I'm talking about when we talk about at a party, when we talk about in the background, when you're trying to get some stuff done, when you're driving in your car. Simple, straightforward. Got the your thumb on the wheel as your or your arm out the window. That is when you put on some Bad Company. And I think it delivers. They delivered it in a lot of different ways, but certainly on this album and certainly on this side, that is what you want, and that is what you get.
Well, this Bad Company, and we talked at the beginning of the podcast about Bad Company in general, and it's just you've got a plate of food, you've got a piece of steak, you've got some mashed potatoes, and you've got some green beans. Boom. Meat, potatoes, vegetable. Boom. This is good meat and potatoes rock music.
Yeah.
And it fills you up and nourishes you at the same time. Without being fancy, It's,
yes. Yep. It shows what you can do with the basics. And that is why I people should give this a listen. If you haven't heard some Bad Company, this is the side to put on and listen to. It's a really great band. They weren't inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame until this year, which was surprising to me. I'm just pointing out, when you look at some of the acts that make their way into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I was surprised that it had taken this long for Bad Company to get here, especially considering not just this album, but the albums, their next couple albums were really very solid, very popular, and to this day still get a lot of play. But a great album from a great band, and a great side and a great conversation, Mike.
Definitely. All right. Well, Mark, we will talk to you next time.